Hey guys, it's Ro, and thank you for being here. Thank you for doing your work this week. And I know these emails have asked a lot of you to look at your challenges, to separate pain from suffering, to sit with some uncomfortable questions. And if you're listening to this right now, it means you're sincere about building your toolbox, about expanding that space between what happens to you and how you respond. And that takes courage. And I'm honored that you're letting me guide you through this. So here's what we're going to do. Over the next 12 minutes or so, I'm going to walk you through a practice, a real practical way to choose your response when life challenges you. This isn't theory. This is how I believe Viktor Frankl survived Auschwitz. This is how Jane walks through challenges that would have crushed her. Remember Jane from Tuesday's email? And this is how Marianne knew she needed to drive 25 miles at 5:30 in the morning to get back for her 7 a.m. meeting. Now, if you're not from Cape Cod, Massachusetts area, to come over the bridge, it's a lot. It's a long drive. It takes something a little bit more than motivation, a little bit more than that. It takes meaning. This is the toolbox. Now, before we go further, I need you to have a couple things ready. You got to have your answers to those 3 questions from Tuesday's email. Do you guys remember them? And your pain versus story work from Wednesday. If you haven't done it yet, hit pause. Go back. Do it now. I'll wait. Well, I'm not really waiting, but you can put me on pause, right? Because this practice only works if you're working with something real. It's just not going to work if it's a theory. Something that's actually challenging you right now. Okay, do you have it? Let's begin. The first thing I want you to do is I want you to take a breath. Wherever you are, if you're in your car, you're on a walk, you're sitting at your desk, just take one deep breath, and I'm going to do it with you. Feel your body. Notice where you're holding tension, your shoulders, your jaw, your belly. Just notice it. Don't try to fix it. Just witness it. Good. Now, bring your mind to the challenge you've been working with this week. Maybe it's a relationship, a health issue. I don't know, financial stress, grief, uncertainty about your future. I don't know, but you do. Whatever it is, bring it into your awareness. And now, look at your answers to those 3 questions from Tuesday. What has this situation awakened in you? Maybe it's awakened fear or resilience or a deeper understanding of what really matters. What's the symbolism inherent in this? What pattern is this revealing? What is this challenge asking you to see about yourself or your life? What can you learn from this? Be careful not to ask, why is this happening to me? Rather, what is this making possible in me? Take a moment and let those answers sit with you. All right. Now, look at your pain versus story work from Wednesday. What's the actual pain? My relationship is struggling. My body hurts. I'm not where I thought I'd be. And what's the story you're telling yourself about the pain? I'm unlovable. I'm falling apart. I'm a failure. It's too late. Do you see the difference? The pain is real, but the story's optional. And here's what Viktor Frankl discovered in the concentration camps. You can't always control the pain, but you can always control the meaning that you give it. And the meaning you choose determines whether this challenge destroys you or strengthens you. So here's the practice. We're going to choose a new meaning, a new response. Not because we're bypassing the pain, not because we're pretending everything's fine, but because Where there's purpose, there's power. And if you've taken any of my classes, I use that all the time. Dr. Frankl wrote in Man's Search for Meaning, when we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. So let's change ourselves right now. First, I want you to ask yourself this question, and this is straight from Dr. Frankl. What is life asking of me right now? Now be careful. You don't want to ask, why is this happening to me? But rather, what is this asking of me? It is asking you to develop perhaps patience, or is it asking you to develop courage, compassion? Is it asking boundaries that need to be set? Or maybe you need to let go and surrender. Is it asking you to let go of control? To ask for help? To speak your truth? Or maybe to forgive? Is it asking you to remember who you really are underneath all the stories that you've been telling yourself? Whatever came up for you, that's your purpose in this moment. Not your life's grand purpose, your purpose right now in this challenge. And here's what Dr. Frankl knew. He wrote, the moment you find purpose in your suffering, the suffering changes. It doesn't disappear, but it stops being meaningless. It becomes the fire that forges you. Let me give you an example. Let's say your pain is, my relationship is struggling, and your story's been, it's one that everyone always says is, I'm lovable. I always mess things up. I'm going to end up alone. Now ask, what if life was asking something different of me right now? What is life asking? Maybe life is asking you to learn how to communicate more honestly, to set boundaries, to stop abandoning yourself to please others, to heal the wound that makes you believe you're unlovable in the first place. That's your purpose in this challenge. And subtly, this isn't just a failing relationship. It's an invitation to become more whole. Let's see, what's another one? Oh, this one I hear all the time. My body hurts. I'm aging. I'm not as strong as I used to be. And the story has been, I'm falling apart. It's all downhill from here. I'll never feel good again. If that's the case, ask, what is life asking of me right now? One of my first teachers would always say, questions are the answer. Maybe life is asking you to develop a different relationship with your body, to stop measuring your worth by what you can do and start honoring what you can feel, to practice acceptance, to find strength in the stillness instead of force, to notice not how the pose looks compared to someone else, but what you're capable of right here in your stage of life. That's your purpose in this challenge. And suddenly, this isn't just aging, it's an invitation into wisdom. Do you see how this works? The pain doesn't change, but the meaning does. And when the meaning changes, your response changes. You stop being a victim and start being a student. You stop asking, why me? And start asking, what now? You stop collapsing into suffering and start accessing your power. Now, here's the second part of the practice. You want to choose your response. Remember, I don't know if you've read the book or not, but Frankl wrote, between stimulus and response, there's a space. And in that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. So right now, with this challenge in mind, with this new meaning you've discovered, how do you want to respond? Not how you've been responding, not how you're afraid you'll respond, but how do you want to respond? If you were operating from purpose instead of fear, what would you do? If you were the witness instead of the victim, how would you show up? If you knew that this challenge was here to strengthen you, not destroy you, what would your next move be? Maybe your response is, I'm going to have that difficult conversation I've been avoiding. Or maybe it's, I'm going to ask for help instead of pretending I have it all together. Perhaps it'll be, I'm going to get back on my yoga mat consistently because I know that's where I can access my power. Or I'm going to stop running from the feeling and just sit with it, witness it, and let it move through me. Whatever it is, that's your response, not a reaction, a response. Remember, there's a difference. A choice made in that space between what happened and what you do next. That space is your freedom. And the more you practice accessing it on the yoga mat, in meditation, in moments like this, the more your nervous system actually remembers how to find it. And it becomes like automatic. Remember, I talked about the Pavlovian effect? You train yourself to respond instead of react. You build the toolbox. And then when life challenges you, you don't have to think about it. You just know where to go. Like Marianne driving 25 miles at 5:30 in the morning because her body knew, I need this. Or like Jane going to her mat every time life gets hard because she's trained herself. This is how I access my power, she said. You guys, that's mastery. One of my first teachers would always say, it's not about perfection, it's about presence. And when you're present, you have all the power you need. So here's how I want you guys to use this moving forward. Every time life challenges you, and it will again and again, come back to these three questions. Remember, questions are the answer. What is life asking of me right now? What meaning can I choose to give this? How do I want to respond? 3, not 10. You might come up with a couple extra ones. That's fine. I mean, these aren't the only ones, but just 3. Keep it simple. 1, 2, 3, many, I like to call it. You can listen to this audio again. You can journal about it. You can sit with it on your yoga mat. But the key is you got to practice it. You've got to do it. You have to write it down, think them through, talk about it with a therapist, a good friend. One time isn't enough. This isn't a magic pill. But you know what this is? This is training. It's like going to the gym. This is building the toolbox. And the more you practice choosing your response in small moments, like in traffic or a conversation that you don't really want to have, or when your body's uncomfortable in a yoga pose, the more you'll be able to access it in the really big moments, when the grief hits, when loss happens, and when life falls apart. You'll know in those moments, I have a choice. I can't control what happened, but I can control what I make it mean. And I can control how I respond. That's your power. And honestly, that's all the power you need. Because when you can choose your response, you stop being a victim of your circumstances, but you become the author of your life. All right, guys, I want to thank you again for being here, for doing this work. It's not easy. It takes courage to look at your pain. Without the story, it takes courage to sit with the questions. It really takes guts to choose a new meaning, but you're doing it, and that matters. So if this practice lands for you, come back to it. Share it with someone who needs it. And if you want to go deeper, get on your yoga mat. Whether it's at one of our studios or somewhere else, I really don't care. Just practice. Because consistency is how the toolbox gets built. And the toolbox, that's what gets you through life's challenges. Not unscathed, but unbroken. Not without pain, but without unnecessary suffering. With purpose, with power, and with freedom. I love you guys. Thank you for the privilege to serve in this capacity, and I'll talk soon.